Roman Babbage here with another fragrance review, this time Zino by Davidoff. Let's take a look at the presentation. For the presentation of Zino Davidoff, we have a yellow to orange box right here. Very interesting line design. The concentration up here, eau de toilette. Zino Davidoff right here, and the size down here. Nothing going on the top. Same exact thing on the back. On the side we have some more information about the company, and on the other side the ingredients. On the bottom we have some more information with the batch code. For the bottle we have a black bottle with a similarly yellow orangish cap. The concentration up here, eau de toilette, Zino Davidoff front. Nothing going on the back. On the bottom we have more information in black. It's very difficult to see, but it is there. And the sprayer, very nice. And of course the cap is very snug. It does not click into place, but it's safe to pick it up by the cap because how snug it is. And that is the presentation for Zino by Davidoff. This fragrance was composed by Michel Almairac and came out in 1986. It's classified as a Oriental woody. The top notes for this fragrance are lavender, Clary sage, bergamot, and Brazilian rosewood. In the mid we have geranium, rose, lily of the valley, and jasmine. In the base we have cedar, vanilla, patchouli, and sandalwood. So what does this fragrance actually smell like? Well, it starts off very fresh and woody. That could be possibly the lavender and the bergamot working together. With, of course, the rosewood, but I don't pick up that basil immediately, but that freshness really only lasts maybe a couple minutes, and it very quickly becomes more animalic and powdery. This is where I don't think the order of the notes is exactly accurate. I think that basil is more of a mid-note rather than a opening, so it becomes more animalic, and that's primarily the jasmine in this fragrance. I don't really pick up lily of the valley or geranium or what was the other one, or rose necessarily. Perhaps the rose is working in there, but it's not a prominent note. It's primarily that jasmine that kind of takes over as it goes into the mid. After the opening, it becomes spicy. As that freshness goes away, it becomes this spicy, animalic, and warm fragrance. It's very earthy, and that's, I think, might be the rose, possibly, but the geranium and lily of the valley I'm not picking up whatsoever. But it still has that woods. The woodiness stays throughout the fragrance. As it continues to dry down into the mid, it retains that woodiness but becomes more of a sweetness. The vanilla starts to take over, but not as necessarily a prominent note. It's more in the background. The woods, I think, are the primary note in this fragrance. It becomes sweet, creamy, and with a woodsy backbone. What's interesting about this fragrance, it reminds me of oak moss. It doesn't smell exactly like oak moss, but some of the characteristics you might find in oak moss, except that tanginess. The oak moss has a certain tang to it. That's the only thing that I don't really pick up here. And that's important too, that I say that, because that'll give you a sense of what kind of fragrance this is. Because it's really, you can really smell how dated it is. Again, it came out in the 80s, and so it has that 80s kind of vibe. It has that old school vibe to it. It becomes less noticeable as it goes into the dry down. Once it starts to go out of that mid to the complete dry down, it's not quite as dated, but it's still dated. It's not modern in any sense of the word, but it starts to take on a more smoother personality. Like I said, it's more creamier in the dry down, and I think that but there is that old schoolness to it. That's why I kind of compare it to oak moss. I like this fragrance, but I think this fragrance really is more suitable for someone in their late 20s and older. I wouldn't recommend this for someone younger because there definitely is that dated vibe to this fragrance. That's why when it comes to the occasion for this fragrance, I think you really have to be dressed up. You can't be walking around in any casual clothes, a t-shirt or anything. You really have to be dressed up, suit and tie kind of occasion. This is what this is more orientated for, I think, especially today. But what's interesting is that even though it has that weight and woodsiness, it's very light. When I first spray it on, there's a little bit of projection. It's super light, but very quickly, within 5, 10, 15 minutes, it becomes a skin scent, an absolute skin scent. On skin, it's very noticeable, but it does not project whatsoever. Longevity is not really that great. I got maybe 5-6 hours, which is fine. If you're someone that you just want to wear it for an occasion or are working a more of an office dressed up setting, this will probably work for you because it's not gonna overpower at all. You can go with five sprays easy and not be filling the room whatsoever. It'll be a skin scent. The seasons that I would recommend this fragrance, probably spring and fall. In the summer, because of the nature of the fragrance, I think you'll give yourself a headache, if anything. Maybe perhaps not other people, although it might start to jump off the skin in the heat, but you're more likely to give yourself a headache. In the cold, it kind of cuts through, but again, it's not going to project. It's not projecting kind of a fragrance. Perhaps a big event, maybe a date, but it's not something that is for casual wear. I think it's more appropriate for a suit and tie. Overall, I like this scent. That's it, you guys. That is my review for Zino by Davidoff. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and comment on this video. Tell me what you think about this fragrance, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless.